Still to come from Athens, the heir to Michael Johnson, Baylor University's Jeremy Wariner seeks to maintain America's sprint of dominance in the men's 400 meters.
In this next race, the 400 meters, the U.S. has been historically dominant, winning gold at the last 5 consecutive Olympics, the great Michael Johnson, the most recent notable. Again, here in Athens, the United States is typically deep. And here are the 3 qualifiers, like a portion of a football team before kickoff, gathering in a pre-race huddle of sorts. Their names are Derek Brew, Otis Harris, and the top qualifier, the guy in the shades, Jeremy Wariner. Again, we send it back to Tom Hammond.
Bob, could he be the successor to the throne occupied by Michael Johnson? Jeremy Wariner, like Michael, a Baylor athlete coached by Clyde Hart, and looking here to win the Olympics and in the footsteps of the great Michael Johnson. Jeremy Wariner has come from nowhere to be the favorite to win the gold medal. Jeremy Wariner, Michael Johnson took him under his wing shortly after he arrived in Waco.
I first heard about Jeremy when Coach was recruiting him. I felt at that point that, he was a special kid, and that he had some things that I hadn't seen before. He can focus better than anyone else I've ever seen. He's a go-getter. He's a tiger. I mean, he's just, nothing can't intimidate him. I went over there the day of the preliminaries, and I just told him, don't start thinking that because it's the Olympic Games, you got to start changing things. Because it is the Olympic Games, he'll run faster, especially if he has to.
Pretty impressive to have Michael Johnson as your mentor, and Michael is here working as a broadcaster for the BBC.
And Tom, I have not heard Michael Johnson speak so highly about any other athlete before. He is impressed by this young man because, first of all, he follows instructions. At 20 years of age, you have to follow instructions from a guy like Michael Johnson. And secondly, he executes every race that he's supposed to execute, the way he's supposed to do it every time.
But you know what? A victory by Wariner here is not a given. In fact, there are a couple of U.S. runners here that are very capable, including Derek Brew.
Derek Brew has had a tremendous Olympic game so far. He has looked awesome through the rounds. But the question now is, can he take this moment and maybe show what his abilities can give and make the podium? That's the big question for him.
And the third American is Otis Harris.
Otis Harris characterizes himself as a late runner. He likes to make his move in the last turn. He said his goal at the U.S. trials was just to make the final, and when he finished second and made the team, he was in shock. Imagine the shock he'd have if he made the podium here.
Michael Blackwood of Jamaica is in lane 1, but he is the defending bronze medalist from Sydney. Here are the lane assignments in the men's 400-meter final. Blackwood is in lane 1, Brew 3, Wariner 4, Harris 5. The 3 Americans lined up in the center of the track. And Aline Francique of Grenada, like Brew, a former LSU Tiger, is also capable of winning this gold medal. But Wariner's the favorite.
Tom, at the beginning of this calendar year, for Jeremy Wariner, the Olympics were no more than a thought. 2 meets into the outdoor season, the thought became a dream. And when the 44-second 400 started to come with consistency, Wariner began to believe. And now, at 20 years of age, he knows he can win the gold and be forever called Olympic champion.
Underway in the men's 400-meter final. Jeremy Wariner in the center of the track, wearing the sunglasses and hoping to follow his mentor Michael Johnson down the back stretch. And also running well is Otis Harris. He got away well. Derek Brew, Jeremy Wariner.
You see the 3 Americans right in the center of the track. Derek Brew, Jeremy Wariner, and Otis Harris all running together very well.
Final turn and approaching the home straightaway. 400-meter final. Harris is there. Wariner is there. Brew is there. The 3 Americans into the home straightaway. And it's Harris and Wariner. Harris and Wariner together, and now Wariner surges to the front. Jeremy Warner's in front. An American sweep. 1, 2, 3.
They've done it. They've done it. And it hasn't happened since 1988.
For the fourth time, the United States has swept the medals in the 400, and running in the footsteps of his mentor, Michael Johnson, 20-year-old Jerry Wariner is the gold medalist at 400 meters.
So now Jeremy Wariner can walk around Olympic Stadium here in Athens thinking about what just happened and trying to soak it up, probably in disbelief at this point. What a race he ran, along with the other two Americans, Derek Brew and Otis Harris.
And the three of them join in the victory lap.
Jeremy Wariner has been characterized by his coach Clyde Hart, and Michael Johnson is absolutely coachable, a young man with tremendous talent. And just think, Tom, he's only 20 years old. Imagine what sort of career he could have as a 400 meter for the next 2, possibly 3 Olympics.
And the line of succession in the 400 meters runs straight through Waco, Texas.
Well, Jeremy Wariner, as he made that final turn to get to the home stretch, was not in the lead. But watch this move now. Otis Harris is right here in lane 5, and Wariner here in lane 4. Wariner pulls up on Otis Harris, Otis Harris desperately fighting, trying to hold on as he believes maybe he can grab the gold. But Wariner stays relaxed, somehow is able to lift his legs and get in front. Derek Brew able to keep his self together to grab the bronze. Jeremy Wariner practicing what Clyde Hart taught Michael Johnson, the 4 Ps, pushing the first 100, pacing the back stretch, position off the curve, and then praying that a guy like him can pull off the last 100 meters the way he did. And 3 Americans there.
Here they come, red, white, and blue. And the 3 Americans are with Bob Newmeyer.
We're the triumphant trio, and we start with the gold medalist. And Jeremy, what does it mean to you to follow in Michael Johnson's footsteps?
It's an honor. I can't describe how it feels right now. I'm going to let it soak in a couple days and then get ready for this 4x4. It's going to be a great race right there.
How have you come so far so fast?
Coach Hart's been a great coach. He knows what he's doing. He taught Michael everything he knows, and he did the same thing for me. And he told me to take it one day at a time, and that's what I did.
Otis, you say you've been living the dream. Did part of that dream include perhaps winning the gold medal yourself with about 25 or 30 meters to go?
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing from God for me to be able to be here and to be able to run with these great athletes. I mean, but hey, if anybody was going to beat me today, I'm glad that it was one of my teammates.
And Derek, the fact that the Americans ran 1, 2, 3 in this event, what does it mean to you?
Oh, man, I was happy, man. I went back and they had Jeremy's race on, I think it was Track and Field News on the chat line, and I studied the race, and I seen that he was running that turn hard, and I watched his race too, and I said, hey, if we all put it together, we can go 1, 2, 3, and that's what we did.
Gentlemen, enjoy the moment. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this was the scene as Jeremy's mentor, Michael Johnson, came out of the stand, still wearing his BBC broadcasting equipment, to give Jeremy a big bear hug as their coach, Clyde Hart, shares the moment. A 1-2-3 U.S. sweep. Jeremy Wariner committed to play football initially at Baylor, but when they told him he couldn't have a scholarship, he switched over to track. And under the direction of Clyde Hart, inspiration from Michael Johnson, he wins Olympic gold. To be 20 and Olympic champion. Oh, hey guys, how'd you do in the 400?
No, say so. USA, baby. 1, 2, and 3. USA, baby.
So I guess no further explanation is really necessary. The U.S. does indeed sweep the men's 400. It's the first time the U.S. or any country has gone gold, silver, bronze in any single event here in Athens. And the youth movement continues here for the U.S. track team. Saturday night, 20-year-old Lauren Williams won silver in the women's 100. Last night, Justin Gatlin won the men's 100 at age 22. And tonight, 20-year-old Jeremy Wariner is the Olympic 400-meter champion. And now we go